So these are the Sennheiser Accentums, and these are Sennheiser's new entry-level ANC headphones that look very similar to the Sennheiser Momentum 4s. Now, these headphones have some major upgrades over their predecessors, the HD450BTs, like better active noise cancellation, a longer lasting battery life, and much more spacious ear cups. However, there are some mistakes that were made here that are just very hard to ignore. Nonetheless, let's see what the Sennheiser Accentums are all about. Now regarding pricing, the Sennheiser Accentum has a retail price of $180, the same as the HD450BTs when they first came out, making them a pair of entry-level ANC headphones. Now, I do expect these headphones to go on sale on a regular basis. Nonetheless, if you want to pick these headphones up, they'll be linked down below, or you could always try the YouTube shopping button. And if you want to further support the channel, pick up a Big Head approved hat, linked down below. We've got trucker hats and snapbacks. By buying a hat, you help the unbiased and unsponsored videos coming, and it also helps us cover more products and produce more versus videos. Thank you to everyone who's already bought a hat, and look out for more designs coming soon. And also, please remember to hit that like button, and let's get subscribed. Now first, let's talk about the included carrying case, and unfortunately, the Accentum don't come included with a carrying case, which honestly is a disappointment because the HD450BTs do come included with a case. Now, it's a soft shell case, but at least it's something. And I do think that it's a big deal that the Accentum don't come included with the case because there are plenty of other entry-level ANC headphones out there that come included with the case. But if you do decide to pick these headphones up and if you want to buy your own case, just keep in mind that the Accentum are a pair of lay-flat headphones. But with the case out of the way, let's talk about the headphones themselves. Now, like I just mentioned, the Accentums are a pair of lay-flat headphones, and these ear cups swivel 180 degrees. Now, these headphones are mostly made out of plastic. This headband glides in and out. Underneath this headband, there is some moderately padded silicone, and the leatherette on these ear cups actually feels very nice for a pair of entry-level ANC headphones. Overall, the Accentums are very well built, and they're built like a tank, just like their predecessors, the HD450BTs. But when it comes to their fit, that's a whole other issue. Now, my main problem with the Accentum is that they have a lot of clamping force. These are perhaps one of the tightest headphones that I have ever owned, and I have already tried multiple different ways to loosen these headphones up, and they still remain tight. So when it comes to their clamping force, I am gonna have to say that these are definitely not Big Head approved. These are only going to be suited for people with smaller heads or just women. And personally, I do feel that the clamping force on these headphones is a very big shame, because fit-wise, these headphones have a lot of very big upgrades from the HD450BTs. First, the headband on the Accentums has a lot more surface area and padding than the HD450BTs, so hotspots are no longer an issue. The earpads on the Accentums are also a lot more spacious now, so even if you have very large ears, these earpads will have you covered, because the earpads on the HD450BTs were very narrow for some reason. And the Accentums are also very lightweight, weighing in at 222 grams. So weight-wise, these headphones are very easy to forget that you have on when you're sitting still, and you don't notice them shifting around all that much when you're walking around with them on. Overall, one of the biggest upgrades on the Accentums over the HD450BTs is their improved fit because of their larger and more padded headband and more spacious ear cups. But the clamping force on the Accentums just ruins everything because it really feels like these headphones are just squeezing your head. But now let's talk about tech specs. Regarding battery life, this is one of the main selling points for Sennheiser's headphones in general. Now, the Accentums have an advertised battery life of 50 hours with the active noise cancellation turned on, which is very impressive and it's very above average. The only thing is, you can't use these headphones with their ANC completely turned off. But given these headphones already very long battery life, I guess that's okay. But it would still be nice if you could use these headphones with their ANC turned off. And in order to charge these headphones, they charge via a USB-C port as they should. Now, when it comes to the fast charging numbers on these headphones, if you were to plug them in for 10 minutes from a dead battery, they're gonna get you 5 hours of playback time. Not amazing, but also not bad. But just given these headphones already very long battery life, you won't be charging these headphones as often as you would with other headphones out there. But unlike a lot of other headphones out there, the Accentums don't have an audio jack. However, you can use their USB-C USB-C port as a wired connection, and you can't use these headphones while they're charging. Now, personally, I think it's great to know that you can use the USB-C port on these headphones as a wired connection. But since these headphones don't come included with an audio cable or an adapter in the box, if you want to use them with a wired connection, maybe you want to use them to monitor your audio, or maybe you want to connect them to an airplane's entertainment system, then you are going to have to buy a separate cable or adapter. But when it comes to overall wireless connectivity, these headphones can be connected to any two Bluetooth devices at the same time, regardless of ecosystem. So if you're a power user with devices from different ecosystems, you're going to be able to easily hot swap from one device to another. So for example, if you have an iPhone and a PC, then you'll be able to hot swap between your two devices with the Accentums. And when it comes to overall performance, these headphones have zero latency across the board when watching movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone or an Edge device. And when it comes to audio codecs, the Accentums have support for SBC and AAC, but they also have support for aptX HD. Just keep in mind that if you do want to take advantage of aptX, you do have to be an Android user because iPhones top out at AAC. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about sound. Now, in general, Sennheiser has been one of my favorite brands for headphones because their headphones sound really good. Now, the Momentum 3s are still my favorite sounding ANC headphones, but the Momentum 4s are up there with the likes of the PX7S2s and AirPod Max. And even though I don't like how the Accentums fit, they sound very impressive for a pair of entry-level ANC headphones. Now, the Accentums have what I will call a fun neutral sound signature, as in, they sound very balanced and they have very impressive instrument separation, and nothing is overemphasized here. But the bass on these headphones is mostly on the audible side, as in they aren't going to rattle your head all that much, but you will hear their bass. But the reason why I say that these have a fun neutral sound signature to them is because when their bass comes in, there's a lot of it, and there is a good amount of resonance in this bass. Overall, I really enjoy how these headphones sound with their stock EQ. And even if you're someone that wants to physically feel their bass, you still might want to give these a try. But the Accentums do have an adjustable EQ. But personally, I don't really like to use these headphones with an adjusted EQ because for some reason, as soon as you raise or lower any of these sliders, the Accentums just start to sound off. They sound like something is missing and they just don't sound right. But also, I do have to point out their volume. Now, at max volume, the Accentums get more than loud enough. But I found that if you use these headphones anything lower than 87% volume, they sound quiet. So volume wise, I have found that it's a little hard to find that sweet spot with these headphones. Either if you use them at a higher volume, they're going to get a little ear piercing depending on what you're listening to, or if you use them at a safe volume, then they'll sound a little quiet, or you might not be able to enjoy the instrumentals and instrument separation on these headphones. So overall, these headphones sound good, but they might not be the best option for someone that is hard of hearing. These headphones sound best with their stock EQ, and with their stock EQ, they have a fun neutral sound signature. They sound balanced and they have a lot of bass, and that bass has resonance to it, but they aren't going to physically rattle your head. But their bass has so much resonance in it that even if you're a bass head, you might want to give these a try. And their bass is perhaps the biggest upgrade that you'll notice if you go to the Accentums from the HD 450BTs. But then when it comes to the meter controls on these headphones, the Accentums are using physical buttons. And the really nice thing about these buttons is that they're very easy to tell apart, but the best part is that they have a very satisfying click to it. But now let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these headphones. Now, the Accentums block out an adequate amount of noise for a pair of entry-level ANC headphones. They block out more noise than their predecessor, and they block out almost as much noise as the more premiumly priced Beats Studio Pro. But so that you can see for yourself, we're going to jump into an ANC test. So like you may have just seen, the Accentums block out noticeably more noise than the HD450BTs, and they do a decent job of keeping up with the Beat Studio Pro. Now overall, the active noise cancellation on the Accentums is useful for, like, let's say a chatty office or cafeteria, or for your bus ride commute, but I wouldn't recommend these headphones for flying because these aren't going to block out all that much jet engine noise. Plus, there's that whole other thing where they just don't have an audio jack. But overall, the Accentums block out a decent amount of noise for a pair of entry-level ANC headphones, and they do so without a whole lot of cabin pressure. But also, the Accentums have an ambient mode, which is something their predecessors don't have, and this ambient mode sounds fairly decent, and this microphone array does a decent job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. My main critique about this ambient mode is that there is a very slight hiss in the background. You won't hear it if you're playing music, but if you're watching a movie, you might hear it. And also, you can't adjust the ambient mode on these headphones to your liking. But nonetheless, the ambient mode on these headphones is good enough to get the job done, and it's good enough for commuting around the city. But also, if you have the Accentums properly set up, in this case having them set to pause your music when you turn on your transparency mode, then you will have a conversation mode, which is very useful if you're flying with these headphones, because you'll be able to quickly talk to someone without having to fully take off your headphones like this. And then when you double press on the main button, the headphones will go back to normal again. And personally, I love when my headphones have this type of feature because it's super useful if you plan on commuting or flying with these headphones. The only issue here is Sennheiser only allows you to have one feature or the other, but not both. So either you can have these headphones set to have their transparency mode, or you can have them set to have their conversation mode. But finally, here's the microphone test. Now, this microphone does sound a little robotic, but I do feel that it sounds good enough to take phone calls with while in a quiet room. But this microphone does struggle to block out noise pollution, because right now, this microphone is trying to reduce some of this road noise, but you can still hear a decent amount of road noise in the background. And it's the same thing when it comes to blocking out chatter. This microphone is just letting in a lot of noise pollution. So overall, I feel that the Accentums have a decent enough sounding microphone to take phone calls with while in a quiet room. However, you are going to sound rather robotic, and I would try to avoid taking phone calls with these headphones if you're in a noisier environment. So overall, the Sennheiser Accentums has some major upgrades over its predecessors, the HD450BTs. They sound better because they have a lot more resonance in their bass, their active noise cancellation blocks out a lot more noise, they now have an ambient mode, and they have a longer lasting battery life. They also have some major design improvements like a wider headband with a lot more padding and much more spacious ear cups. But the main drawback about the Accentums is their clamping force. These are not big head approved. These are going to be better suited for guys with smaller heads or for women. Also, there's the volume on these headphones. It's very hard to get that sweet spot. Either you have to use them at higher volumes and risk damaging your hearing, or you have to use them at a lower volume and miss out on a lot of that great instrument separation. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.